Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm your host Sandman. Today I'm going to be reviewing Multipick's Aries Disc Detainer and Dimple Lock Opener. Let's get into it. So first off, Multipick reached out to me and said, Sandman, would you be willing to do a review of our Aries Disc Detainer and Dimple Lock Opener? And I said, yes, please. And they sent this to me about 6 months ago. And that was the nicest thing anybody's ever done for me. This thing was absolutely free. If you are looking for an honest, objective review, you're probably not going to get it from me because I'm a Multipick fanboy. I love all things Multipick, and they're my go-to source for anything in the UK, anything on the other side of the Atlantic. These tools come from Germany, but when I have somebody reach out to me in the UK, there's a lot of really great offerings in the UK. But number one, in my opinion, if you're in the UK, you should be invested in Multipick. So if you were looking for an objective review where I'm going to say that the $500 product is trash, you're not going to get that here. I love this tool. I love the tool. I love the product. I love the company. So just be forewarned, this is not going to be a negative review. Everything about this tool is amazing. I love it. So thank you, Multipick, for sending it out to me. Warning number 2, I'm a shill. He's a shill. He's a shill for Multipick. I don't get any kickbacks from Multipick other than the tools that they send me for review. But if you would like to save 10% on this product or any other product from Multipick moving forward, try using this discount code. It should be good for a couple more months, and that is MPYT SAND10. So Multipick YouTube SAND10. That's Mike, Papa, Yankee, Tango, Sierra, Alpha, November, Delta 10 for 10% off. Let's get into this review. So this bad boy retails for 499 euros with the VAT, or 419 without the VAT. 429 British pounds sterling with the VAT, or 360, without the VAT. And in America, we don't pay a value-added tax, so it's just $461 USD, not including shipping. And we're going to talk about this price point. $461 is a lot for a tool, except this is probably one of the best tools you can buy, and it's not even the most expensive tool you can buy, not by a long shot. This is literally price range, middle of the road, which makes this tool highly valuable and worth buying. So the ultimate opening tool set for disc detainer and dimple cylinders. With this set, all doors are literally open for you, unlocking options for 2 widely used lock systems in one set. Open disc detainer and dimple locks with just a single tool. Just change the scales and the opening attachment and you're ready to go. Simple and practical, saves time and money. The scales included in the scope of delivery are used for the most common types of dimple and disc detainer cylinders. They serve as a guide for positioning the setting tool above the pin and or in the level of the disc to be set. Alternatively, you can palpate the pins freely and then set them with the pick. With the Multipick Aries opening system, you have all the options to build the right tool for opening disc detainer and dimple cylinders. This set will allow you to open even difficult models. In addition, you have the option to open more types of locks. The basic module offers you the possibility to expand your system modularly. We are working specifically on new add-ons, such as new attachments for the safe opening and new variations of dimple pin cylinders. You can find all components of dimple lock opener and disc detainer lock opener and accessories here. And I'll provide a link in the description down below. Our Aries is made of high quality aluminum. You're gonna see the website say aluminium, but those people are crazy, so I corrected it. With an anodized coating and a special steel alloy, which is used in all our products. In order to achieve a smooth operation between the tensioning tool and the setting tool, a sliding sleeve has been integrated. Clear laser markings on the corresponding components ensure precise orientation during use. More control can be achieved by individually screwing the included handles into the basic module. These are required in some cases, especially when using the dimple version. Changing the individual parts, such as the dimple pick, scale, positioning ring, key, profile, tensioner, and disc setter can be carried out with minimal effort. That's it. So this thing's amazing. this thing really is really nice. So I have the ability. So right now I have it set up in a front tensioning configuration. This is probably going to be very effective on most locks that are front tensioning. You don't need a multitude of front tensioning tools unless it's very specific to a type of disc detainer lock that you're servicing. This is going to do quite a lot of good for you. That's the tip. That's the tensioner here. And I'm going to provide tension on this big boy right here. And I'm going to actually pick the lock here. We do have a rear tensioner in here. At some point I will come across that. Let's go ahead and take apart some of this stuff. So it does come with several different keyways of several different locks. I should have written that down, but this is the EC550 and it comes with this scale here. So let's take a look at the EC550. So that's for the ABUS EC550 and we have a scale for that and the particular pick. So this is for a particular keyway. And then we also have the D6X. So that's the ABUS D6X. And so it tells us which scale. So I would use the BO1. This is the SO2. So this is for actual disc detainer locks. And so the one that's on here is actually set up for Dimple locks. So I have that incorrectly set up. My bad. I was playing around with it earlier. So it comes with those two tips right there for ABUS. Let's see what else this guy comes with. I love that this is the only manufactured this is what you do to get everything setting to 0. So this is a disc detainer. And I guess I could have talked about, well, Sandman, what is a disc detainer lock? Well, it uses discs here instead of tumblers. And if we take a look at our cutaway, let's take a look at our key first. So our key has different bittings here on top and bottom. And instead of, think of a wafer lock, honestly, where the wafers actually tumble. So if I were to use ball bearings here to release the shackle, and once all of the discs in this particular configuration, I think there's somewhere between 10 and 20 here. I don't know how many are in this particular one. Someone yell at me in the comments what that is. But as these rotated correctly, there's a fence, there's false gates, true gates, and then the fence drops into the true gate, and that actually opens like this. This is essentially a safe combination, you know, like a safe dial or a safe lock, where a safe lock, you know, like a group 2 would have like 4 dials, I guess, built into it. Or what's the correct term? 4 discs, you know, with false gates and true gates. This has, you know, 3 times as much. So it's essentially a very complicated safe lock here. I know I sound like an idiot talking right now because, man, these are not common in North America. But you know where these are very common? Military installations and other places that need the absolute highest security. So let's see, institutional locksmiths will use these. A lot of prisons will actually use these. I know of a particular business that uses one of these. People that don't want somebody to be able to get in will use. I believe that disc detainer locks, in my opinion, are some of the highest security locks that money can buy. And you cannot drill these things very easily. The tensioning, that tensioning disc here will just keep spinning. This guy here will just either spin. Sometimes you spin and sometimes these are fixed. I mean, these things are just made so wonderfully, but these are very common overseas, especially in Germany and in the UK. So we have a rear tensioner here. Let's see what else we have. Oh, duh, I was talking about the tool. So the tool, to be able to start picking this, is I want to rotate all of the discs. Some rotate to the left, some rotate to the right. This particular one, I want to rotate all to the right. So that way it aligns all the discs. So that way I can insert the tool more easily, because if the discs are all in different positions, you're not going to get that tool in there very easily. So this particular tool at front tension, and then I would slowly insert this guy like that, and that guy goes all the way to the back, and then I'd start picking that lock. So it does come with its own reset tool. I don't really even know what this is called. Somebody tell me in the comments, Sandman, you're an idiot. Americans are dumb. In Germany, this is what we call it. Yeah. And then somebody will correct me. So let's see what's in this guy. All right, so this is the rear tensioning one. So this is the rear tensioner, and this is the front pick right there. So if I were to put that in this tool, and it takes about 2 minutes of a setup, then instead of this being the tensioner and this being the pick, it's the opposite. This is the tensioner and this becomes the pick. So it just reverses itself. So we do have that tool right there, that pick tip right there. Let's see what else is in here. So we have Ooh, okay, so this is going to be specific to one of these. So these are all labeled. So this is labeled B33, and so this will probably just slip into one of these guys. And so these are actually similar to leashy. If you're familiar with leashy tools for pin tumbler locks, well, now we're seeing a lot of leashy style tools for dimple locks. So this is actually specific for that dimple lock. So that goes there. Let's see what's in this guy. And then we should have another one here. Gotcha. And this one's labeled, let's see, it's 6.3.5. And then let's see what this one is. And then another one, and this one's labeled 6.3.1. So this comes with some Allen screws. This comes with another scale here. This one is for the disc detainer locks, and the one that's installed here, I have installed incorrectly, is for, it's going to be for our dimple locks. And it comes with another, I guess you could call this a scale. So one is measured in degrees, one would be for depths. Whichever one you want. Honestly, I don't really use these. I go everything by feel. But if you are trying to decode the discs, or if you're trying to decode the dimple pins, and because you want to make a key, that would be what that's used for. I'm not good enough to do that. I'm not an actual locksmith. I just like opening things. And it comes with these really nice aluminum arms here that are essentially tensioners. They're part of the tensioning body here. So these guys just screw in here on the side. I'm an idiot. Hold on. Here we go. There we go. So that way you can have control with your thumb or your finger, depending on where you want that. It's just personal preference. Let's go put this right here. You can put a third one in the back. It comes with two. And like that, and that's really all you need. And man, this thing is so cool. I've wanted this thing for a long time. I'm so fortunate that they reached out to me and asked me if I wanted it. We're going to talk about some alternatives that are on the market. We're going to talk about good and bad, pros and cons. Here's some extra pieces here that they were nice enough to throw in here in case you are, if you have problem with gravity like I do, then we do have extra parts right there. There's nothing else underneath this case. And then we just have this guy here and the extra tools there. Okay, so let's talk about, first off, let's talk about what's actually available on the market to date and the various price points. So this guy is sub $50. This is from Sparrows. There's about 3 other versions of this. One from Kasek, one's Haushi, and one is maybe Huck, or one's DD Tools. I don't remember. There's 3 other knockoff versions of this. Everybody's knocking this off. This was designed by lockpicking lawyer and Bosnian Bill like 8 years ago. And their deal with Sparrows was they said, listen, we're going to design this tool for you and the community as long as you promise us one thing, make it sub $50. Don't sell it for $100. And they did. So this is a front tensioning tool, and this is a lot of people's first tool. And a lot of cheap locks from this one. This is, I believe, they're made in China but sold out of Mexico. If they're made in Mexico, then I could be wrong. It's a Phillips Asa alloy, so they're specific to the demographic of Mexico. So maybe they are made in Mexico. I'm just an idiot. But I bought this from an actual Sierra Hero, so an actual locksmith in the state of Oaxaca, Mexico, and the city of Oaxaca. So Oaxaca City, Oaxaca, Mexico, southern Mexico. And this I've picked with my Sparrows and my Aries, and I have to say I love the Aries more. But it is possible to do it with this guy right here. And I've also picked this guy, which is the same thing, but this is made overseas. And then I've picked my Zarker J45, which is a really great starting lock. And then I've picked my F&J one time. I have no idea what I was doing, but I totally was able to slay it with the Aries. And that's that. So I was able to get all the low-level stuff knocked out of the way. I could not, obviously I'm not up to this, to the alloys yet, but this is very common on the market for about sub 50. What's the problem with this? Well, this is not a rear tensioner. Some of these J45, someone was telling me, I think it was the Zarker. Some of these are rear tensioning, some of these are front tensioning. I think somebody was telling me. I front tensioned it and had no problem with that, but someone telling me that you can rear tension some of these. Some of these locks are even middle tensioning. I still have so much to learn about these disc detainer locks that's why I won't be demonstrating how to use it on any of these locks here. I am going to be putting out individual videos as I get better, and I'm going to be using it with the Aries system. So for like 50 bucks, you're essentially getting this guy, but you're not getting that reset tool. You remember I told you had to have a reset tool to align all of those discs just to be able to insert the tip in. Would you believe that Sparrows doesn't give you a tool to do that with? So I had to have one 3D printed. What gobbledygook is that? So it doesn't come with a rear tensioner. It only comes with a front tensioner. And obviously, you're not going to be using it for any dimple locks or anything like that. This has one use, and that is cheap Chinese disc detainer locks. If that's what you collect, if that's what you enjoy picking, if you're a locksmith and that's all you see, perhaps that's all you need. But this does so much more. What is the step up from that? Well, the step up from that is, I just showed my address there, who cares? Don't send me your underwear. Don't send me air tags and try to stalk me. So let me get this guy open here. This guy. So this is a 3D printed version of essentially any of this. I mean, this is a disc detainer tool, and it comes with tips and everything, and you can make I think I have stuff in here for front tensioning and rear tensioning. I don't know, I haven't even messed with it yet, but this has a lot of possibilities. And you know, this is very much favorited in the locksport community, because as you make these tips and you learn to pick locks, it actually helps you qualify towards black belt. I haven't messed with this because I'm not really much of a maker. I don't want to go into the garage for several hours and try to make something. I'd rather buy something. But this is an option, you know. But in fact, all I see here are, all I see here are front tensioners. I think these are the front tensioners, and these are the rear picks. Man, well, someday I'll do a review of that and I'll figure that out. What is the other option on the market? The other option on the market is this guy right here, the Silver Bullet. The Silver Bullet. Oh man, I totally forgot. I totally have the Golden Bullet too. Man, I should have brought the Golden Bullet out. So the Silver Bullet is based off of Huxley Pig's Golden Bullet. The Golden Bullet was an all brass bodied disc detainer pick that he designed about 10 years ago, and he was selling for, I don't know, something like 700 euros. It wasn't cheap. I don't remember what the original price was, but then he eventually sold the design to the current company, and this is called the Silver Bullet version 2. Now, the Silver Bullet version 2 comes with 9 different tips, and it claims to be able to open 99% of all the disc detainer locks on the market. Is this good? Well, that's good and it's bad. Good, because it has a lot of potential. Bad, there is zero documentation on what tips are for what locks. Zero. There's zero documentation on how to use the tool, and that's it. You're just paying. I paid 600 euros for this thing, and it came out after, I think the shipping may have been free, but after tax and everything, it came out about $650. So this is, I would say that this, I can't say that this is better than the Aries, because the Aries has the option for upgrading to the dimple locks. And I think that is really going to be super huge for Multipick, because this is just the beginning. So this is cool, but it's kind of like, it's just super overpriced. There's no documentation on how to use this or what tips go to what. It's just going to be a huge learning curve. That learning curve is exponentially cut shorter with our Multipick Aries tool here. So I have to go with the Aries tool for the win. I think they hit this thing out of the ballpark. I think it's perfect in every way. What are the drawbacks to it? Well, the drawback to this thing is that even though this only states for the disc detainer locks of Abloy Disc Lock, Abloy Plus, Abloy X Plus, when you have a front tensioning tool and a rear tensioning tool, you literally will be able to pick dozens, if not hundreds, of individual disc locks. So you're not limited to just those 3 locks on this list, okay? You can do a lot of really amazing things with this tool. What it is limiting on, and I think it's not fair to even mention it because it's just the beginning. What it is limiting on is they only have profiles for these locks here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they only have 8 dimple lock profiles here, and they're very specific to the keyway, whether it be left-handed or right-handed, all that other stuff. So, but here's what I think is gonna happen. If you remember Leashy Tools came out like 6 years ago, around 2018 to 2019, 2020 timeframe, and they only had 4 available on the market. They had the KW1, Quickset KW1, they had the SC1, And then they had AM3 or AM5, which was the American lock. And then they had M1 for master. And they were $125 each when they first came out, if not more. Now you can get the KW1 and the SC1 and the American one for all sub $50. So, and that it's only been a period of 5 or 6 years. So sub $50. Everything has gone down, oh gosh, by almost 75% in cost. We'll say 50% conservative, but you know, almost 75%, especially if you go on sales. Multipick, in my opinion, give them 2 years, give them 3 years, 5 years. They're gonna have so many of these guys, so many. Oh man, I'm looking forward to that. I wouldn't be surprised if they also figure out how to do just basic North American and European pin tumblers into this design, making it like essentially a leashy tool. But I believe that the dimple locks are going to be the future. I collect a lot of rotary style dimple lock tools from Data Tools specifically. I have like 6 of them, I think, or 4 of them. I don't even remember how many I have. And those guys are like 150 each or 180 each. And I have 4 of them. This guy altogether, if you buy this, make this investment, and you start buying these tips here, that's where this thing is really going to shine. I think this is a good investment today if you are a locksmith, if you work for the government or the military, and you can just write this thing off. If you're paying out of your pocket, you have to ask yourself, what do I do for a living to justify buying this? If you're a hobbyist, if you are in locksport, I think this shines for the disc locks, the Detainer locks. But if you are a locksmith, I think the future is in these dimple lock profiles here. I really think that there's a big future for that. So I don't really have anything else to give this guy here. This paperwork here is in German on one side and it is in English on the other side. English. You know, compared to the Sparrows, this thing's better. Obviously, you're paying more, but it has so much more potential to add different tips. Even though what is claimed to be the best one on the market and it's twice the price, this has the potential to have more tips. I can see Multipick offering all of these tips and including the documentation and the videos and instructionals and the support, you know, and guys like Lock Noob. That's all going to happen, I think. And I think this is going to be the future for disc detainer locks, if I'm saying that correctly, or disc locks. And I think it's going to be the future for dimple pin locks. I really do. I think this is the future. Yes, it's expensive. It's a big buy-in, but it's really for professionals. It's really for professionals. And if you're not a professional, just bust out your credit card and use Multipick Sand 10 and get this guy in your collection. Thank you so much, Multipick, for sending this to me. I'm sorry it took me 6 months to do this review. I wanted to be cool like Lock Noob and be like, hello, now we're going to demonstrate our tool and we're going to do some openings. And I wanted to open some locks and be all perfect and stuff like Lock Noob because he's amazing and he's better than me in every way. But I decided, no, I still suck and I cannot articulate what's happening inside the lock. So we're not gonna do a 50-minute video where 20 minutes is the review and 30 minutes is me fumbling around with this Phillips Assa Abloy 240. So we're not gonna do that. We won't do that. But Multipick, thank you for sending me out this tool. I look forward to adding more disc detainer locks in my collection. I look forward to collecting all of these tips here. And man, I just can't wait to see what else you guys come up with in the future. My recommendation is definitely get this guy, but if you are a professional and you can write off your tools, or if you work for the government or the military, they have other version of these where you can buy multiple bodies of these. I would have one set up for rear tensioning and I would have one set up for front tensioning. And that way I don't have to constantly just change them out. And then I would have a third one set up for just waiting to receive these dimple locks. That's what I would do. If I had all the money in the world, I would have 3 of these things. So, but take a look at their offerings. They do offer different sizes and different sets. They do go up to like 900 euros where you have multiple and like everything that they have. It's super cool. It's super upgradable. It's future proof. I really think it's a great option. And it comes in this really nice case. This thing is so nice. The weight of this thing is super nice. I really love that they did that. And take a look at this case here, man. Like, I put the sticker on there myself, but this is a really nice case. It's like an ABS plastic here or something like that. Anyways, I don't have anything else to add. I'm going to add some links to the product or the video description below. I'm going to add the Lock Noob video because he reviews these tools better than I do, because, you know, he just has better experience with this Detainer and Dimple locks, and we all love an accent on a lock picker in our videos, don't we? So I'm going to provide his video description down here. I'm also going to provide all of the documentation and links for Multipick, you know, and just check that out and save yourself some money. Now, this is limited to 8 items per shopping cart, and I think it's a one-time use, but, you know, this, if you're going to use it on something expensive. That's all I have for today, folks. Let me know in the comments down below. Is it worth spending, I don't know, 400 euros? What was this? How much did this thing cost? This thing's $460 USD for shipping. Is it worth to buy something that's basically going to be, it's basically going to be a Leatherman or a Swiss Army knife of disc detainer tools and Dimple locks? I see the future in this thing, and I think that once you make this base foundational investment, because Multipick's not going anywhere, and they're a top tier 1 company. They're the best, in my opinion. Multipick's the best company in the UK, or excuse me, well, they're in Germany, but they're the best company over in what I would call Europe as an American. I'm from Texas, I'm an idiot. But I think they're the best company overseas. I really do. And I see this being super future-proof, super upgradable, super expandable, and I think there's going to be more options. Do you think that this is overpriced? Do you think it's overkill? Are you just going to be like, no, I just want to open front, you know, tensioning disc detainer locks with my Sparrows tool because you're a Sparrows fanboy? Let me know what your thoughts are on this, and I'll catch you guys next time.